You ever meet someone who just seems built differently? Someone where the rules aren't just suggestions, they're basically the laws of physics. Well, today we're diving deep into one of the most disciplined and powerful personality types out there, the ESTJ, otherwise known as the executive. For an ESTJ, there are absolutely no gray areas. When it's time to work, it is time to work. Period. No excuses, no shortcuts, no I'll do it later. And deadlines? Oh, those aren't just goals. They're commitments that have been carved in stone. Being late isn't just rude. To them, it's like a fundamental breakdown of reality itself. And if a plan is made, you better believe it's meant to be followed. To the letter. Changing things up isn't being creative, it's just introducing chaos. And that's the absolute foundation of their worldview. So this brings up a huge question, right? Are people with this mindset just kind of controlling, or are they the actual backbone holding our companies, our communities, our whole society together? To figure that out, we've got to get inside their head. All right, section 1, let's really meet the executive and figure out what makes them tick. This right here is the heart of it all. You have to understand, their brains are literally wired to create systems and bring structure to everything around them. They look at the world and see a place that should be organized, efficient, and, responsible. For them, chaos isn't just annoying. It's a serious problem that needs to be fixed, like right now. Now, if you're an ESTJ listening to this, you probably find yourself wondering all the time, why does it drive me crazy when people are careless? Why can't I stand a laziness? And why do I feel like I have to be responsible for everything? Look, it's not about being judgmental. It's this deep, fundamental need for things to just be done the right way. So what's the actual blueprint for this personality type? Let's pop the hood and break down the mechanics of the ESTJ. Okay, so ESTJ is an acronym for 4 big things. The E is for extrovert. They get their energy from being around people and interacting with the world. S is for sensing. They're all about concrete facts, what's real and practical right now, not some abstract pie-in-the-sky theory. T stands for thinking, which means they make decisions based on cold, hard logic. And finally, J is for judging. Now, that doesn't mean they're judgmental, but it means they love, and I mean love, a planned, organized, and structured life. You can almost think of these as the 4 pillars holding up their whole personality. They go out into the world, see it for what it actually is, analyze it logically, and then they organize it. This whole process makes them total natural-born commanders of structure, whether they're running a company, a family, or just a weekend project. And this really gets to their core philosophy. For an ESTJ, success isn't about luck or some random burst of inspiration. Nope. It's a direct result of having strong systems, following proven traditions, and building reliable structures. They trust what works, what's been tested over and over by real-world experience. Okay, now here's where it gets really interesting. Because for an ESTJ, their greatest strengths, if they're not careful, can flip and become their biggest weaknesses. It's like 2 sides of the exact same coin. Just take a look at this. Their dedication makes them absolute workhorses. But the flip side is they can find it almost impossible to just switch off and relax. Their incredible talent for organization can sometimes go a little too far, making them seem controlling or stubborn about change. And their honesty? Super valuable. But it can come across as blunt because they sometimes forget to factor in the emotional side of things. It's all about finding that balance. So how does all this actually play out day to day? Let's take a look at how these traits show up in their careers and in their personal lives. It's really no surprise that ESTJs just kill it in jobs that demand structure, responsibility, and a clear chain of command. They're fantastic managers, military officers, administrators, you name it. Why? Because those fields reward order, discipline, and getting things done in the real world. They need a place with clear rules to enforce and systems to manage. In their relationships, that same sense of duty becomes this incredible, deep loyalty. Just don't expect a lot of spontaneous, romantic speeches. An ESTJ shows their love by being your rock, by giving unwavering support, making sure you're safe, and always, always keeping their word. For them, love is an action. And what they need back is pretty simple: respect, trust, and stability. Okay, this brings us to what might be the most important point of all. How does an ESTJ go from being just a really good manager to being a truly great leader? Well, the secret is understanding how they react under stress and learning how to grow past it. So what happens when an ESTJ's perfectly built world starts to crack? When things spin out of their control, this is when they can fall into a really negative stress response. Suddenly, their desire for order morphs into this intense, desperate need for control. They can get angry, they can start micromanaging everything, and they can be really quick to blame other people for the chaos they're feeling. And their solution? Usually, it's just to work even harder, pushing themselves and everyone around them to the absolute breaking point. But the path to growth? It's totally clear. It's all about developing those areas that don't come as naturally. Things like learning to really listen to other people's ideas, even the ones that sound kind of illogical at first. Accepting that sometimes being flexible is way more effective than being rigid. Trusting your team to do their jobs without you looking over their shoulder. And maybe the biggest one, learning to connect with people on an emotional level. And this is the ultimate lesson right here. Discipline is the ESTJ's superpower. But when you combine that incredible discipline with genuine empathy and understanding, they transform from being just a commander into a truly inspiring leader. Without that understanding, their greatest strength can turn on them, making them seem more like a dictator. And that leaves us with one last thing to chew on. The ESTJ personality really champions things like order, responsibility, and discipline as the keys to a world that actually works. So, what do you think? In our messy, complicated, and often chaotic world, is their brand of structured discipline the real foundation for a thriving society?
एक कदम विकसित भारत की ओर।